It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. Well, I'm so excited that we are going to be doing this program today. We have a brand new diva we're going to be welcoming to our family. And for any of you that have just tuned in for the very first time, thank you so much. The Divas That Care is in its 11th season. We are listened to in over 30 countries around the world. And it's because of all of our amazing listeners that we are able to do this. And we have the opportunity to interview guests like I have on today. Well, let's get started, everyone. Today's guest is Desiree Neville. And I'm so excited. I didn't have an opportunity to chat with Desiree before the program, but I'm excited to talk with her because I was able to go through her website. And I think all of you are going to be inspired like I am. So let's get started. Desiree, welcome to the Divas That Care.
Thank you, Candace. It's good to hear you. And last minute, I didn't know that this was actually being done on the phone, so I'm glad I'm here.
Well, I'm so excited to have you also. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. Well, Desiree, one of the things I usually do when we get started on the program is that I ask our amazing guests to do a little bit of an introduction about themselves.
Okay, awesome. So my name is Desiree Neville. I am a portrait photographer. I'm based in the Durham region and Scarborough. My studio is currently located in Scarborough, Ontario. And I photograph people mostly from the area, but in the wide GTA area, so Greater Toronto area. And I specialize in, I like to say I empower women through photography, because my goal when I photograph someone is always to find the brilliance of my subject and make them shine on photographs.
Well, I love it. And, you know, we have a mutual friend, Rhonda, and when I had the opportunity to see that she was on there, and I'm like, oh, wow, you did such a beautiful picture of her that I was really inspired. And then you do a lot of stuff with women over the age of 50, and those were absolutely beautiful. Why did you decide to do something like that?
Well, it all started when, so I'm going to try to make this as concise as possible. I was a flight attendant for a very long time, and alongside that, I was a photographer. I had gone to photo school, and so I photographed while I was away on layovers while I was flying, because at home, I left my family at home to go fly, so the only time I could do photography was when I was away. And then when the kids were old enough to go to school, I opened my studio to go photography full time, and I left my other job. So I started building my business, and then I had to stop twice. Once because we had found a brain aneurysm in my brain, which luckily got repaired with brand new technology at the time. That was back in 2009. And then I continued the photography. In 2013, I had to stop again because we had found macular holes in my eyes, and both my eyes. And so I didn't know if I'd be able to work again, let alone do photography. And the same year we relocated from Caledon to Pickering, and that's like the two extremes of the GTA. So all of this was happening at the same time, and I felt very defeated after it took 2.5 years to repair my eyes. The good news is they were repaired, and I'm able to work today. But during those 2.5 years, I just slowly became a nobody, no one. I felt like I wasn't human anymore, like I wasn't needed anywhere, I wasn't missed, everything could function without me. So it was depressing in a way. So after my eyes got repaired and I was able to go back to photography, I wanted to do things for myself to kind of validate myself as a human being. And one of the things that I had done was book a photo shoot for myself with a photographer that I loved. I loved her work. So I went and did that photo shoot, and the way that made me feel, I thought, I have to do this for other women. And so I started this brand called Red Carpet Portraits for women of all ages. And what it is, it's fashion style photography. I coach you through the whole thing. I prepare you. We play with wardrobe. There's hair and makeup, and you get a bunch of photographs that are printed and matted for you to keep. And because of the way it made me feel when I did that, I decided to bring this to women everywhere. Wow. Now I took this brand and I put it towards a project called 50 over 50. Which is a project where I photograph 50 women over 50 plus, 50 and over. And at the end of the project, I want to have a celebration night with a showcase. So I'm going to showcase one print of each one of these women at a celebration night.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
What an inspiring thing to do. Photos that you took of these women were extraordinary. I just love that. But I want to go back to the things that you were doing before. And, I just want to let our listeners know that I'm going to be posting about your website after our program here. But I really think that they need to take a look at this. Your photographs are absolutely extraordinary. I wish that I was closer to you because I would love to be able to get some of these photos done for my children, because when I look at them, I'm like, oh, my goodness, they're so beautiful. And you just want to be around them. They're just great.
Oh, thank you, Candace. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, the children thing, that's another thing that I do for kids, and that's another thing that comes from inside of me. It's something that was inspired by when I was a kid, the after school shows that we used to rush home, turn the TV on, and watch the youngsters shows, and one of them was about this. It was a real person, but she was personifying a doll that walked into fairy tales and tried to right all the wrongs that, in the fairy tales. So that was my inspiration for creating this storybook portraits for children, which I call Tattletales Portraits. And it's based on themes where kids walk onto a set and they wear costumes and they play a role, and we go through a series of shots so that we can make a photo book at the end. So they have their own storybook, like they star in their own storybook. So that's something also that's very dear to my heart. And I've come to a full stop with the pandemic, but we're luckily just reviving everything. The 50 over 50 project is definitely something that is, so we're going to start publicizing it again very soon, like in the coming weeks. So, yeah.
I was going to ask you how the COVID has affected you, because you obviously would have stopped. I know Ontario has had a lot more restrictions, and so now you were saying you're just getting back going on this, and that's probably affected you quite a bit.
Yes, it was stop and go the whole time. We had a couple of windows last year in June and July. It started in June, but by the time we got ready for phase 2, we had gotten into phase 3, so we had to revamp everything. So from June, July, and August last year, I was able to do a few shoots. And I did do one of the fairies for the kids, but mostly I've been able to do headshots because they are considered commercial, and commercial was allowed in some of the time.
Okay.
Like in complete lockdown, it wasn't. But so this is what I'm doing the most of right now is headshots. And most of my clients are women. I don't have a lot of men. I don't photograph a lot of men just because I guess the groups I travel in are mostly women. I do photograph men. I just don't have a lot on my website. But so anyway, once I got my second vaccine, Candace, it seemed like life was just around the corner, ready to start again. So I'm really happy about that.
Goodness. Well, and you know what? I give I applaud you for that, because being a photographer for the last 18 months would have been a challenging thing to do. And it's not like you can revamp your business and do workshops and do a lot of stuff online. You really have to be face to face with these individuals to accomplish what you guys are setting out to do. So, oh my goodness, I feel for you completely on that.
Thank you. I have, during this time, I was just sitting idle doing nothing. I took a mentorship. I think it's important to have mentors and coaches, because sometimes you can't see what's going on in your business. You're too close to it. So I took a mentorship specifically in photography, and that was very intense. So I just bettered myself. I revamped my whole business model. And yeah, you have to, I feel like we were given the gift of, sometimes you want to stop and redo everything from scratch, but everybody else doesn't stop with you. They continue, and you feel like you're going to be left behind. But with this pandemic, I know it was devastating for a lot of people, and I am very, very sorry, and I feel for them. But in some cases, it has had some good impact in terms of we were given the gift of time to do something that you have been wanting to do and never found the time to. So in my case, it was just to get better at what I do, and I developed also a talk called Brand Yourself with Your Headshot, which is a thing we go into. What is branding? Why is branding important? And how do you do that? And how do you bring your brand message into your headshot? So, so I wasn't sitting idle. I wasn't making a lot of money, but I wasn't sitting idle.
I absolutely love that. You know, personal development is such an important thing. And you're right. You know, it's shocking what we had all gone through, but in a lot of ways it was almost we're reinventing ourselves in a lot of ways. A lot of people did do a lot of reinventing. I've heard stories on the program in the last year of, you know, a lot of personal development and mentorships. And, you know, I've always been a big promoter on having mentors in your lives, because you can't do it by yourself. You know, we learn from people. We need those life coaches. We need those mentors. We need those people surrounding us in order to lift us up and help us through our journeys. And this is all a journey. We've all been on this crazy journey, and what it sounds like is that you've had an extraordinary one, and now that you're going to be up and about, and you'll be able to do so much more with so many people.
I do feel very, very lucky, Candace, to have had all this time. And yes, other people see things. You can't just go through life with only your point of view. You need to have other people. It's like when you're a leader, you surround yourself with people who can advise you. They can see other points of view. They can bring things to your attention. So it's the same thing in life. And you're right. I've had a heck of a ride. Really, I feel very lucky. I feel very lucky, very fortunate.
Oh my God.
Yes.
I am absolutely inspired by you. I'll be honest. I just love everything you're doing. I love the process. And I like hearing about the journey and how a person or an amazing woman like yourself has got from point A to point B. And it sounds you've done a lot, and you're taking what you've learned and you're really using that. I want to talk a little bit about moving forward. You know, you're going to be continuing to work on your 50 over 50. Can you share a little bit about that? I know you want to do a big celebration at the end, but how many women do you have so far? And how many more are you looking for? Because we do know quite a few people in that area that tune into the Divas That Care.
Right. I started this project in 2019. In 2019, and I started photographing women, and we were on a roll. And so I had photographed at the time, I think, 13 women. I'm up to 15 now. And for this project, I need 50 women. So what I've done, again, during the pandemic is I have reached out to people in my circle and people in their circle who would be interested in doing this and interviewed them so we can have kind of a buffer, like have those women ready when we open up again, rather than start looking for people like that. So now I'm up to I think I'm looking for 33 more women for this project here, because I have some that have applied. So the way it works is if a woman who is 50 and more wants to participate in this project, she needs to go on my website and apply, and they fill out a form that tells me that they are the right candidate for this. And to be the right candidate, of course, the age is a must, because the idea for this project is to elevate this age group.
Yes.
We've been putting on a back burner, and even for ourselves, it's not just to change the minds of people everywhere, it's also to change our own minds of how we see ourselves, because we are conditioned in a way to see women 50s plus in a certain light, and it wasn't very flattering. We are just starting to come out of the shadows, and so that's the idea behind this project. And so when you fill out the form, it shows an interest in doing this, and you need to be willing to share your story. And some people say, well, I don't know that I have a story. I'm like just a normal person. I don't have anything interesting to say. And what I say to that is, everyone has a story. Whatever got you here is your story. And as long as you're willing to share that with everyone, it does two things. One is it shows that every person has value, every person can inspire other people. Every person, just by hearing somebody's story, it reminds you of someone, or it gives you hope, or so every person has that in them. So if you're willing to share it, it does that for other people, but for you, it kind of makes women come alive. So we do an interview just before the photo shoot. On the day, you come in with your wardrobe, and we have wardrobe at the studio that you can borrow from. You get your hair and makeup done by a professional artist, and you get photographs coached by me in 4 to 6 outfits, depending on how quickly you change. And but just before you do this, after the hair and makeup, we do an interview. So I record the interview so that we can use excerpts of this to share your story at the celebration night.
Oh,
and
that is
and
so
then
great.
You choose so it's fun. It's all about you on the day. It's your front and center, and it makes you feel amazing. Because sometimes we don't see the value we have, right? Sometimes other people see it and we don't.
Exactly. No, I agree with that completely. Desiree, are you just looking for people in the Toronto area, or would you be interested in having people throughout Ontario?
If they can come to me, we can do it. They'll have to come to me, because it's a lot easier than you have access to everything when you come to the studio, as opposed to me traveling with all this stuff.
Exactly.
So
we were just thinking about
Scarborough.
Scarborough, Ontario. Well, that is excellent, because a lot of our listeners are throughout Ontario, and this might be something that our amazing tribe would be interested in. So I'm going to be posting about this on our social media. I'm hoping, it'd be nice if you had more people, more amazing women across Canada, but unfortunately things are still a little crazy, but if we can get to a lot of women throughout Ontario, I think that would be great.
Right. Anyone who can get to me is certainly welcome to apply. And I just want to mention one thing about that. I've had people ask me, can I gift this to my mother or to my aunt or whatever? You can gift a red carpet session, but for the 50 over 50, it has to come from the person, because I need that want from the person. I want that desire. I want to see the desire of the person who wants to share their story, because that's what makes the project come to life. It gives it meaning. Yes. That's what it is, the core of it. So, yeah, sure.
Oh, I just love the entire idea of this. I think what you're doing is very inspiring. It's so creative, and it's going to bring a lot of attention, to, as you were saying, to women over their 50s. And it's something that we need. We need more positivity in the world, and I think what you're doing is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. And it's so much fun. Like, what's not to like, right? All girl stuff, right? and I coach you before. I coach you before. We do a consultation where we talk about what you're going to wear, where we talk why you want to share your story, where we talk about all that stuff beforehand. So when you arrive at the studio, it's let the fun begin, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, Desiree, is there anything else you would love to share with our listeners today? We're always interested in learning about our amazing divas that come on our program. Is there anything else you'd love to share?
Well, like I said, I've developed that talk about branding. If anyone is interested in hearing more about that, just get a hold of me. I'm all over social media at Your Eye on Photo. I don't know if I'd mentioned the name of my studio. I often forget to do that. And if there's anything I can do to help anyone in their business, just get in touch with me. My email is Desiree@youreyeonphoto.com, and there's no accents or anything, and no, it's all lowercase. I'm open. Anyone who wants to participate in the 50 over 50 project, just go to my website. There's a thumbnail 50 over 50. You can read all about what it is, and you can fill out your application there. And I'm looking forward to meeting new divas.
That awesome. Is excellent. I love this. And for all of our listeners, I will be posting Desiree's information on all of our social media. So if you're interested in the 50 over 50 or the headshots or even some of these other programs that she does do, for your family, you've got to check out her website. It's absolutely extraordinary. And it just brings a smile to my face, and I know it's going to bring a smile to yours. Well, Desiree, do you have any last minute, perhaps, tips for women in business? Anything that you would love to share with us?
For women in business, I say headshots are super important, and if you can do your own if you don't have the budget or the time to come to me or to any other photographer. Go to my website and sign up for the newsletter, which I don't send a lot of those out, but you'll get the free posing tips from me. It's hard to explain over the radio. To help you do your own photo, with your phone. And things like that. And if you have questions, feel free to send me an email. I will try to respond to everyone. I usually do respond to everyone. And I just want to thank you very, very much, Candace, for having me on today. It was a ball. It gives me a perspective to, when you talk about your own stuff, it gives you a perspective, a different perspective when you talk about it like this. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, you know what? It was my pleasure. And I hope that you come back on our program again, because I know there's so much more that we can learn from you, Desiree. And it was a pleasure. And I welcome to our Diva family.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Very, very happy and honored to be here in your company.
Oh, thank you. Oh, my goodness. What a great show. You know what, everybody? Thank you so much for all of you that have tuned into today's program. It's because of all of you that we continue to do these amazing shows. We're able to interview amazing women like Desiree. I'm so honored and grateful to be able to continue doing this show after so many years. Make sure you also check out our other hosts at divasthatcare.com, where you'll listen to some extraordinary programs from these hosts. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that all of you have a fantastic day and that you do something kind. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.